The best 6 doctors anywhere, and no one can deny it, are sunshine, water, rest and air, exercise, and diet. These 6 will gladly you attend if only you are willing. Your mind they'll ease, your will they'll mend, and charge you not a shilling. Yes, that little epigraph is the cornerstone of the Steve Squared Show. That is actually by Wayne Fields, and I have put it in my book, Anything is Possible, the Jackalantern story. And it's just a little appetizer, and amuse-bouche, as they say in the French quarters, to whet your appetite on what you can expect from the Steve Squared Show. Nonsense. Jumbling, nonsensical gibberish. But actually it's not, if you think about it. And by the way, welcome to the Steve Squared Show. I'm your host, Funny Man Stevie K. Yes, we are remote for the 19th week in a row. I apologize profusely. This was a last-minute change. Apparently, it is Columbus Day today, and Indigenous Day, for those of you keeping track. We are, and I mean, what is today anyway? Other than, it's a good thing. Let's, whatever your feelings are, however you want to celebrate today, can't we all agree on the fact that this is such a fantastic day to get 50% off on a mattress? I mean, if that doesn't bring us all together in a kumbaya fashion, whether you're over here, or you're over here, or you believe this, or you believe that, we all can agree that 50% off a mattress is fantastic. So we need more days to celebrate to get 50% off a Posturepedic. I'm going to read that epigraph one more time because some of you might have been taking your food out of the microwave, your dinner out of the oven. Does anybody still cook anymore, or are you all eating out tonight? It's Monday night, an absolute picturesque, beautiful, gorgeous, delicious day outside. I mean, this is one of those Norman Rockwell painting days. Just fantastic. I hope you all got a chance to go outside, soak up a little of the autumnal sun. I need to move somewhere where this weather is all year round. I cannot deal with this weather that I know is imminently approaching us. So enjoy these days while you get them. So let's break this little idiom down, if you will. The best 6 doctors anywhere. So these are the best 6 doctors anywhere, and no one can deny it. Are sunshine, we had that today. Water, did you have water today? Rest, did you get your rest? Air, well, if you're watching this show, you must be breathing. Although I've had a few that, just for view's sake, that have maybe not been so with it, but I have counted them as views and likes. Exercise, did you get your exercise in today? Did you go for a walk? Did you move around? Did you go to the gym? Did you work out at home? And diet. Did you eat something healthy today? Did you have a piece of fruit? We're going to talk about all of this later on in the show. But these 6, as we refer to them as doctors, will gladly you attend. Meaning, that's easy, right? It's so much easier to do these 6 things than go to the doctor. If you're only willing, your mind they'll ease, your will they'll mend, and charge you not a shilling. So a shilling is obviously money, used in the Old English word. They used to use that, you must have watched Scrooge, When Ebenezer is screaming from his thing for little Thomas to buy the biggest goose in the land. Here is a shilling to buy the biggest. Now, I don't know what you get for a shilling. I don't think you get a goose anymore. I don't think you get much for a shilling. A peckle and a bush is more what you need to fill up your tank or to buy a goose. Not sure what any of that means. But anyway, it's really, I wanted to open up the show with that for two reasons. One, I think it's important to understand that you can take care of yourself. Remember, we talked about this last week. What did we talk about last week? Did you do your homework? I said, remember, change the course. I feel like, remember, I gave you advice. I said, this is your homework, and I would check up on you. Now, as I have family that are teachers, I'm very good at checking up on homework. So I told you last week on the Steve Squared show, by the way. Let me get, before I do anything else, you thought I didn't have Kermit? You think I forget everything. You have no faith. You people have no faith in me. Of course I have Kermit. I'm going to put Kermit right over here so you can kind of get a glimpse of Kermit and see that a little bit. What the heck was that? It's an animal loose in the comedy club tonight, or in the remote state. So Kermit's looking great. But I said to change your habit, your routine, pick something new during the week. Did you do that? What did you do? Did you do anything different? Did you watch the same shows at the same time, eat dinner at the same time, same meals, or did you say, I'm going to listen to Steve, Funny Man Stevie K, I'm going to cook something tonight, I'm going to go to a different store, I'm going to order something new for myself, do anything, try a new exercise. What did you do? I'm waiting. You think about it, and I will tell you, you know what? If you do that, you should be good.
Maybe we need a timeout.
That is not true. That is not true.
In the beginning, the universe was created. This made a lot of people very angry and has been widely regarded as a bad move.
Oh my God. Don't know where that came from. Anyway, so I hope you guys did something new. I went on a different path with my bike. I went on a nice bike ride the other day over the weekend. Did you all have a nice weekend? So I tried something, trying to get to do different things. I am, like you, a creature of habit. And I went on a little different route on my bicycle. Some of it was for my assignment that I took seriously. I don't ask my squares to do anything I wouldn't do. Other part of it was there was people in my way. So I had no other choice other than to run them over or to go a different route. But no, definitely chose the latter. So, how was your weekend? Did you do anything fun? See family, friends? I think the weather was great this weekend. We had a much better than last week. I went to a car show with my dad and my brother. Great car show at the Tobay Beach Car Show. My dad does the same thing every year. Because as you're going down Ocean Parkway, right, you pass Jones Beach and the theater and you head out towards Tobay Beach. We look to our left and we see the line of cars for a mile and a half waiting to get in. And my dad goes, oh my God, why didn't we? Oh my God. He starts freaking out. I say, Dad, patience. It moves pretty quick. Because they're not charging. So they're just, the cars are just filtering in. So it went pretty quick, and we saw a lot of really cool cars. My dad saw his favorite car that he had years back, the GTO, which was, we've talked about it before, one of his, I would play it for you, but of course I can't play anything on the show. That's why I had to open the show with reading that nonsense by Wayne Fields instead of some kind of music intro, the way I used to do it. Because I don't want to be, I don't want to be shut down. And isn't that what we all don't want at the end of the day? Isn't there too much shutting down of people? So, how did you go out and celebrate your Columbus Day weekend? Did you go out and buy something 50% off? So the car show was great. We saw cars, and people are passionate about their cars. My dad saw the GTO, his year, which was even really cool, 1964. He runs over, he starts talking to the owner, this woman. She was very nice, and she said, "Do you want to take a picture?" We were like, "Yeah, it was great, awesome." And so that was pretty cool. And we saw a lot of, and they had so many food trucks there, and they had music. The Mystics were playing. I'm not sure who they are. And of course, all the politicians were out. It's a great politician moment, to just give themselves a pat on the back, right? They get up on the mic and they try to be cool, and it always comes across in super awkward. They make a joke, and it just doesn't. It's just terrible.
Like living with a 6-year-old.
So true. But it was pretty good. And then we did some. Oh, I'll have to show you. I don't have it here. Maybe I'll take a pit stop at not a spit stop, but a pit stop at the break, and go grab you show you a pumpkin I got. Me and my mom, and we went up to this nursery. It's a great nursery. Got a couple of pumpkins, and I always like the faces that are already drawn on the pumpkin, and I'll show you what I picked, because I like it to kind of symbolize what I feel and my attitude. So I think you can guess right off the bat. No, it's not cursing. We couldn't get a cursing pumpkin, but something close to it. Before I forget, so of course we were on the big judge watch, and since I've seen you last, that's right, baby, he did it. Can you see? Number 62, Aaron Judge. Look at that. Great picture, great poster right there. Nice big picture layout. And the New York Post had a nice front page for it too. 62. Which is, he did it with one game to go. It was getting a little worrisome there. I was like, what's happening here? Remember, we were talking about it during the show, breaking away. But he finally did it in Texas, of all places. And, I'll tell you what bothers me. The guy that got the ball, they were already saying auction houses were offering $2 million. Of course, it's this guy that's very wealthy. He owns a hedge fund, or he's a CEO. His wife is a reporter for the Mavericks and the Cowboys. Obviously, people of well means, and of course they didn't give the ball to Aaron Judge. You didn't accomplish anything. I mean, if it's one thing in the old story of Roger Maris when he hit his 61st back in 1961, this gentleman named Sal gets from the neighborhood. It was a lot more neighborhoody then, 61. And, looks like a guy from The Outsiders, the movie The Outsiders, the rolled up t-shirt, cigarettes in the pocket, the whole thing. And he was giving the ball back. He just wanted to meet Roger Maris and hand the ball to him. He got the ball. And Maris tells him, keep the ball. You can use it more than I can. And the guy gets $5,000 and puts a down payment on a home, and it sets up his whole life. That's a different case. That's a good feel story. This slime ball, this is unacceptable! This is unacceptable. They should put this guy behind bars, because he and you knew it right away. Some reporters got to him and they're like, what are you going to do with the ball? He's like, I'm not sure. You know what you're going to do. And this is my whole credo. I got to fix this lighting. I'm not loving the lighting. My whole credo, the rich get richer, and it didn't sit well with me. I just don't like that. I feel like you didn't accomplish anything. And again, if it's a young guy, young girl, young woman, young man, and it could change their life, and they even make the offer, I think that's a great thing, like that other guy did. But this is just, come on, just stop it. Anyway, enough of that. So they'll get it going tomorrow night, Tuesday night, the Yanks. Hopefully we'll get it going, get off to a good start. you might be wondering on such a beautiful day as today, why am I wearing a wool cap? It's not cold. It's not freezing. It's not that I got a crazy haircut, although you can see my hair is getting long. Steve would make fun of me if he was here, which he's not, of course. Leaves me to go solo tonight, but I can handle it. And I'm not solo, I'm with you. So I was doing some cleaning. You know, you get in those moods sometimes where you want to clean out things, take stock of your life. You might be cleaning out things, but it's really a metaphor for the desperation and the despondency that you have in your own existence as a human being. That's really what I was trying to do. But the facade of cleaning up and putting things is really a better alternative. So I found this hat, and for those of you who don't know the significance, I'm going to share it with you. I ran the New York City Marathon in this exact hat. The sweat is still, I haven't washed it since, and this was like 10 years ago. The sweat is still, I can still feel the heat from that marathon in my head. And I should have washed it before the show, but I didn't. So I wore this hat, and I was like, lost it for years. And I was so upset, and I was like, I love that hat, and I wish I could find that hat. And I was so down. And every time I see a picture, I got this nice framed picture of running the marathon, and I got my hat on, and I'm like, I love that hat, man, and I would have liked to have had that. And I find the hat. So that was good, and I guess on some level. So I was going to wear it for the show tonight and say, this hat, it's a nice hat, but you definitely don't need something like this. It's a beautiful evening now. Go out, enjoy after the Steve Squared show. Maybe take your dog for a little walk. Do something like that. Anyway, that was my hat story. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to move Kermit over here, and, that was it. So, what else do we have in store for you? So that was a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Oh my gosh, we have to wish a happy birthday. Let me show you what we got here. Well, first of all, you think I'm lying, and you people think I lie. 50% off Columbus Day sale right there, baby. There it is. I don't even know what store this is. Doesn't even say what. It doesn't even say. It says 50% off store-wide. What's in the store? I don't even know it doesn't even have a store. It's just got a picture of the Nina, what boats was he? The Nina, the Octa Maria. What boats did this guy sail across the sea with? I know there was a Nina. Then there was it a Pontiac or something else? I don't know. Couple other boats, maybe a kayak. I don't even think that was his real name. Christopher Columbus. Come on! Let's go. What's the real story? I want to know what happened. But the greatest discoveries are found by accident, aren't they, though? Like this hat. I found it by accident. I wasn't looking for it. This hat, and me finding it, is like Christopher Columbus finding America. We weren't looking for it, but it was a great side way. It was a great part of what we were doing. Indirectly, hey, I wasn't looking for America, but there it is, so good. So slap my name on a sale. There you go, baby. And I found the hat. I wasn't looking for it, but I found it. They weren't looking for antibiotic, right? When they were trying to, it just happened. Penicillin just happened. They weren't setting out to make penicillin. The mold just grew. Things just happen. That's the way I kind of try to live life. Don't make things happen. Things just happen. That's my new saying. Don't make things happen. It will. Actually, it won't. But anyway, so there you go. But this is what I was reaching for. Happy birthday, Ben's Kosher Deli, 50 years old. 1972 was the first time somebody bit into a salty, fat-ridden piece of cured, unidentifiable meat product of pastrami and corned beef. Now, what is the difference between pastrami and corned beef? Not really sure. I was going to look it up, but I thought better of it. I'm not sure what is the difference between pastrami and corned beef, but you can get it both there, you know? So, but they're actually trying to roll with the times, and they now serve turkey pastrami on avocado toast instead of the old overstuffed Carnegie Deli Ben's, you know, the Kosher Deli sandwiches stuffed with 18 pounds of corned beef, enough to have maybe fed a small community of starving children. They would put in between 2 slices of rye bread, you know, with your pickle and your mustard. Delish. But that's the picture right there. There's your corned beef on rye, right? That's a staple of Ben's Kosher Deli. And it's a great story here. Let me tell you a little bit about Ben. That wasn't his name, by the way. His actual name was Ronnie Dragon. He is the founder and owner of the first Ben's that opened up in Baldwin in 1972. 2 failing delis were there before. And he had always worked in his uncle's deli and thought this could be prosperous, but was a little apprehensive to go out on his own. So he recruited his father and then had to come up with a name for this new deli and said, Ronnie is just not cutting it for a Jewish kosher deli. We're going with Ben's. And Ben's it was, and Ben's it is. And of course he did the right thing, and there's Ben's Kosher Deli. There's 6 locations, I think, around Long Island. There's Greenvale, there's Woodbury, which is a nice one. I wonder if the Baldwin area is still going on. It doesn't say. I was trying to see customers like this. Oh, there's Roslyn. There's one in Roslyn. It says here they spoke with Victor Pasternak of Roslyn, and he says over the past 25 years he's visited Ben's 3 times a week, and he gets the roast chicken. He loves the matzo ball soup. The corned beef and pastrami are staples of the house, he says. Can't be beat, and he loves the potato salad. That is straight from the stomach and the mouth of Victor Pasternak of Roslyn, who says, I enjoy a good Ben's hearty kosher meal. And they say they're trying to get a new generation of kids, and that's why they're coming up with some, you know, different takes on old favorites and using avocado toast instead of rye bread and turkey pastrami and things like that. Look, I always say, and I've spoken to you this before, don't roll with the times. People have enough places to go to for healthy food or whatever kind of food. You know what you're getting from Ben's: stringy, salty, fatty pastrami. Deal with it, love it, embrace it, enjoy it. Let them go somewhere else for some lean crap, some avocado garbage toast. Okay, it's like KFC trying to be something they're not. Why is everybody trying to be someone you're not? Love who you are. Fatty pastrami is who you are. You built your business. You've sent generations into cardiac arrest on your corned beef. And now you're going to turn your back on it? Stop it! That was a quasi-rant on my part. 6:55, the show is moving. We're in the left-hand lane, not in the HOV lane. Do they still have that? You better watch out. I just read an article here that are installing along the Southern State Parkway license plate readers. They're going to now track everybody's cars and license plates, so if you have an outstanding ticket, they catch it on the license plate reader. They send someone out and find you on the Southern State Parkway. And look, that's not a hard task, right? Because it's not like you're cruising at about 65. You're usually doing about anywhere. I usually go about 5 to 10 miles an hour on the Southern State Parkway. So it's not like they could see me, but I could, get off at an exit or something like that. You're there for the duration, so watch your license plates. Do what I do, cover it up. Which, this segment of the show, and they were there at the car show. There was a lot of great, like I said, food trucks and sponsors. Everybody was there. Channel 12 All the biggies were there. And none bigger than Celsius. They were at the car show, and of course I could not find, I saw the display, but they weren't giving out drinks, of course not. For their biggest promoter, you think I would have been the spokesman, or like signing autographs there, signing cans of Celsius, Steve Squared Show. Boom, right? I'm a promoter. This is what I do. How's your dinner going? Are you enjoying your dinner? What are we having tonight? Little corned beef, maybe pastrami. Did I get you in the mood for a nice little matzo ball soup? Hey, maybe. I don't know. I like you know me. I like minestrone soup. I wonder if they have that at Ben's. I know they have, of course, chicken noodle, and they always say our soup cures all that ills. So kind of like that saying I read for you at the beginning, right? It's one of those kind of metaphoric, our soup cures, C-U-R, like cures meat, all that ills. And I've had it, and it's very good, their soup. I've had it in the past. A little salty, but, once in a very, very blue moon. But definitely check out a Ben's near you. Maybe today on Columbus Day, they're running 50% off pastrami. Check it out. Thankfully, to the show, to the movie that launched the phrase, "No mercy," they have finally showed us mercy. Cobra Kai, I have watched the last episode. It is over. And I have said this from episode, I knew this, boy, do I know things. I knew from the trailer that this was not going to be a good season. Terrible. From 1 through 10. It never got better. It never got worse. It was always the same. Just bad. Same storylines, silliness, trying to be plots and twists, but nothing that you couldn't see coming a mile ahead, right? Nothing like you were like, oh my god, wow! You were like, figure. Don't you hate that? I like to be challenged for some things. And, and look, nobody knows, I was the first on the Cobra Kai bandwagon, right? I was watching them when they were on YouTube Red. So I don't want to hear anything. First 4 seasons were awesome. This was terrible. I will say this. There's 3 actors I'd like to give a shout out to, which this says from this season, Yoji Akamoto. I hope I said that correctly. Yoji Akamoto, who plays Chosen. You would remember him from Karate Kid 2, a young Yoji, who was, when they went to Japan, and he was the nephew of the rich uncle who was terrorizing Mr. Miyagi, and the kid started terrorizing Daniel LaRussa, played by Ralph Macchio, and he was going to kill them. They had that big scene at the end. So, here we go, 40 some odd years later, and he's jumping in, and he was great. I thought he was funny, very charming, and played that kind of. He was good. He was good. I thought he was very charming, very good in delivery, and well played with his character. I thought he did a good job for this lighthearted, quasi-comedical fluff. He was pretty good. And the other guy I thought did a really good job was Sean Kanan, who plays Mike Barnes from Karate Kid 3, the bad boy of karate. I thought he wasn't bad. He actually surprised me, and he wasn't bad at all. And I looked a couple of them up, and they have done a lot of movies, probably not things you'd hear of, and maybe and they're not big roles, like they might have been the cashier or something. Like there wasn't actually Yoji was in Better Off Dead, which was an old movie from 1985. So at the time he was right in his wheelhouse. That was that funny movie with John Cusack. Was so hilarious. Better Off Dead, where he's like, wants to be with this girl, and that's the movie suggestion I will give you of the week. Better Off Dead. Really, really funny. And sometimes my credo. Anyway, no, that's not, no, you know what, that gets this. He was also in Johnny Tsunami, which was about this Hawaiian surfer guy. Very good. And obviously, I think this series has shown really the chops of William Zabka, Billy Zabka, who's playing, Johnny Lawrence. I thought great, because all his characters back in the 80s and those movies were, like, obviously he was a bully, right? He was a bully in Karate Kid. He was a bully in that Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield when he's bullying the other kid. He was a jerk boyfriend in European Vacation. So he was always like a jerky jerk. And this time he was have a more human side, a more funnier side, playing that self-deprecating side. So very nice job by him. I think what this... and before I even go, one more guy, Paul Walter Hauser, who I like a lot. He was in Richard Jewell. Richard Jewell was the story about the bombing at the Olympics. I want to say it was in Atlanta. And he was the one that alerted everybody. He was like a security guard volunteer, and he alerted everybody. Then they started accusing him that he did this. He was kind of a weird guy, a loner. So Clint Eastwood directed this movie, and Richard Jewell was played by Paul Walter Hauser, who played Stingray in Cobra Kai. And he plays the same type of character, a kind of, out there dreamer. He's obviously not in shape. He's overweight and has these issues. So he's always playing the loner, the weirdo, out there kind of character. But that it works for him. He was great in that. He was in I, Tonya too, the Tonya Harding story, where he helped devise the plan. Same thing. He was kind of weird type of guy. He's in that series Blackbird. Which is also, it's with, I forget who the other actor is, but it's another true to life series on some streamer, another crazy streamer. But I think if anything, it showed us that Ralph Macchio, his best acting days were long behind him. He peaked, man, at 12 years old on 8 is Enough. Then it just slowly, but hey, that's all you need, right, is one score. But I think he's kind of, just the center of it, So he just has to deliver his lines and just be Ralph Macchio. That's all people want to see anyway. When you get that big, it gets to that point where you don't care. You just want to see Ralph Macchio, right? So, before we move on, I have to make a confession, and I feel embarrassed to do this to you. And you can see it over my shoulder. Last week, I misrepresented myself and my abilities, showing a horse lamp that I had built with these two hands, my Mr. Miyagi hands. And by the way, episode 10, where Ralph Macchio kicks Terry Silver's ass, is ridiculous. And of course, he goes to that awkward crane move, and he's wearing like corduroys. You can't do the crane while you're wearing corduroys, first of all, because when you do the flip, they're going to rub together. You need something loose, breathable material to do the Cobra Kai crane, or the Miyagi-Do crane. You can't do it wearing tight corduroys. He was just out to dinner, for God's sake, and now he's using the crane. And that whole club scene where they're dancing and then they're drunk in the limo, it was just so painful to watch. It's just terrible. And how does Chosen live? Silver sliced him 7 times with a samurai sword, and then he comes out like he's fine. I was like, wow, they really killed him. They went that extra mile. And of course, he just walks out. He goes, little flesh wound. Flesh wound, he was sliced almost open 3 times. Come on. And it was all just farce to me. And it was too farcical. And that just bothered me. And without any real story, But like I said, I feel embarrassed. I told you about this horse lamp I made, and it was the wrong horse. I was truly on a horse with no name. I hope some of you got that joke. You know the song, Riding on a Horse with No Name. So I have dug up, and my mom actually was watching the show, and she said, that's not your horse. The horse, you got the wrong horse. And I realized that when I turned the horse over and I saw my brother get a B+. I would never get a B+. I'm an A student, A squared show. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is the authentic horse that I built. Look at this thing. And it only shows you that over that many years, because me and my brother are a distance apart in age, they had never changed the curriculum. But look at my horse. Look at that profile. Look at the grains. Of course I should have known my horse. I feel bad. Look at the way I did the base. How it's kind of like the monuments you see in Washington, D.C. It's a step and then a step. Now let me see what grade I got. There's no grade on it. Well, they didn't write the grade on it. But anyway, and you could see I gave him a mane. I don't know if you could see that. There's little notches in the mane, so you could kind of see the mane and a little indentation on the nose. And I really was attentive to detail for my horse. And the lamp works. It's not plugged in right now. Sorry. But it works. Trust me. It's a working lamp. So, anyway, I felt like I misrepresented. And I feel like I felt very retro, very emotional-ish. And I actually made something else I wanted to share with you, too. I dug this up from my dad's old toolbox, and he kept it, thank goodness. I made this as well. This was in Metal Shop. I made a gorgeous toolbox for my dad. And I know this is mine because underneath the initials are SRK. So there you go. I wasn't Funny Man Stevie K then. I was just SRK. And it's a little dusty. And look, it's got a clip. I put a nice clip on it, a lock, and it opens up. And my dad has tools in there. Look at that. He uses it. It's got a lot of Allen wrenches in there and everything like that. I don't know what grade I got on this, but this was nice. You know, I guess they stopped letting kids use hacksaws and drills in school. I don't know if they have those kind of classes anymore where they tell kids, they show kids the benefits of using a hacksaw, an electric sawzall, if you will. You know, but you learn. This is what I'm saying. It's all about, yes, you get a couple of bad incidents with children and you say, look, maybe we need to change the curriculum and not have kids use a table saw, an electric table saw. You know, Johnny doesn't have a left hand, but did he lose it without some purpose? Right? At least, you know, it went for a good cause, right? Don't you always love that? He got killed for a good cause. You know, so they lost a couple of hands and a couple of arms, but they go at the end of the day. Now we don't do that anymore. Right? Life is a learning lesson. It's an enormous learning curve. And there you go. So, oh boy, did you see the 2 movies Stallone just came out? Well, one in one series. His career has also gone to shot. He has this one movie called Samaritan on Amazon. Oh, God. It's terrible. He's now he always has to be retired or aging because he's older. So he's a retired superhero who just wants to live out his daily life as a garbage man. And he's, you know, he helps this boy who's getting bullied, which is the new issue we love to talk about, bullying. And I get bullied. Nobody helps me. And so, you know, he doesn't want to recognize, but he plays every part like he's Rocky. It worked in 1976. It's enough already of him going, I'm not, you know, I don't want to do this no more. I'm not a superhero. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's enough already with that. And to use that, you know, it's no more. You know, that was classic, you know, 45, 50 years ago. If you scream those same lines in every movie, you get tired of hearing it. It doesn't age well. So anyway, he's also got this another terrible series that's out on Paramount, which who really subscribes to Paramount anyway? When you're on Paramount, you know you just made crap, and you only got it on something because of your name. It's called Tulsa King, and he's this, again, got out of prison 25, 30 years later, and now he's a New York mafioso. And he's going to Tulsa to get the mafia ring going. What are you doing? Come on, Rock. But if you want to know a really good movie, and I know it's an old movie, but I watched it. It was on, I think, AMC the other night. You could watch it. Goosebumps is a really good movie with Jack Black. It's really good on a lot of different levels. If you get a chance, I know there's a Goosebumps 2, but Goosebumps, the original, is such a good movie at Halloween time. It's got a lot. It's almost got a maybe I like it because I liked Gremlins. It's got that kind of feel of this small town and a young kid that, kind of, then the monsters take over and the chaos. But it's a really good movie, Goosebumps. And if you've seen it before, but you haven't seen it in years, go watch it again. It's a good Halloween movie to gather with the family, have some hot cocoa, maybe something pumpkin, and enjoy that. Did anybody watch Halloween Ends? Is that movie out now? I think it's out now. I didn't get any early reviews on it. I'll let you know next week. I'll check it out. I don't know if I'll check out the movie, but let me tell you another movie you have to see. I didn't see it yet. I might stream it. Excuse me. I have something that I got like a tickle. I believe you call it a tickle. Wow. That was scary. Usually don't have a lot of flying objects. Rodents in the house. This movie it's actually still in the theater. It's in Farmingdale, and it's the Farmingdale. I think it's the UA, or maybe it's the other one. I don't know. I think it's the other one, but it's really, you can just get it on if you have Apple Plus, which you know my feelings on Apple Plus. I hate all of these streamings, Paramount, Apple Plus. Ugh. But I really want to see the movie. It's called The Greatest Beer Run Ever. And it's starring Zac Efron. And Bill Murray's in it. And Russell Crowe is in it. Great cast. And it's the true story of this guy, Chicky Donahue. And it's set in Inwood, New York. True story. And these guys, during the Vietnam War in the late 1960s, early 70s, obviously these guys would go to the bar and they would talk a lot about the war and how they felt, and they would see protesters, and some of them were already ex-military people and things like that, and a lot of their buddies were over there and had died. And Bill Murray plays the bartender, and he's like, somebody should give those guys a beer or something like that. He makes the statement. So this guy, Chicky Donahue, who was about 26 years old and had already served, not over there, but served in the Marines, he says, I'm going over there and I'm bringing those guys beers. Right? He just makes this crazy statement. But he actually goes through with it. He gets on a cargo vessel that's headed for Vietnam out of New York, that's loaded with cargo and things, and he gets aboard and basically gets to Vietnam, and his whole adventure is trying to find his buddies, and he does, and he's got a duffel bag full of beer, and his buddy's like, what are you, crazy? Like, you come to war, like to Vietnam? How did you find us? The story is amazing, but it's a true story, and it's about this guy, and he had wrote his book in a collaboration with a newspaper journalist, I think for the Times. And that's why it got some exposure, and Skydance, who produces movies for Apple, jumped in on this bandwagon, and they said, we're going to do this picture. And pretty amazing. The guy is, and the four buddies still get together every year, and they have beers and drinks in New York. And I think he's in his mid-70s now, Chicky Donahue. And read the book, but if you want, that's almost worth at least doing the free trial on Apple Plus, and maybe you can see it, or if you like the movie experience, go to the movies and see it. It's really only playing at that one theater at 10 o'clock at night. It's got one showing, and I don't know why they chose 10 o'clock. It's a 2-hour movie. So, but that way, it's always fun to go to a late movie and get that movie experience, and also not give your money to Apple. Although, indirectly, you're giving it when you go to the theater. If you're watching this movie, you're giving your money to Apple Plus. And of course, I'm so weak because I'm so angry at them for so many different things they have done, and of course, I really want to see this movie. So, check it out. But I think that's... and speaking of the military, this is a heartwarming story. Just when you think the world can't get any worse, or things can't get any worse, or any better, I don't know which way to go, there's that one bit of hope, that little bit of, I can get to tomorrow. There is hope. And I'll tell you what that hope is. Keep hope alive. BTS may face conscription, which for the layman means they might be drafted into the South Korean army. Oh boy, would I love this. It says South Korea's military appears to be drafting the members of BTS, K-pop supergroup, for mandatory military duties. They all have to serve in the military. Now, of course, I'm sure they won't be in harm's way. They'll probably be, doing some dance moves on the DMZ line. Ducking missiles from North Korea. Whatever. I don't know their moves so well, but I'm sure but at least they're going. Or I'm sure they're, so of course all their stupid.
That is so fetch.
All their loser fan base, I don't like to say that, but I can say whatever I want, is trying to say not to send them, and there's this petition. For what? What petition? Because they all wear the same suits and have the same coiffed haircut? It says, as the public remains sharply divided over whether they should go. It says, the commissioner of the military manpower told lawmakers on Friday that it is desirable for BTS members to fulfill their military duty. It says, the defense minister and said it would make its final decision on the position on the issue, but it would set a good example of no preferential treatment. Good! There's 7 members, and first of all, if something should happen, I mean, obviously they're easily replaceable. You're telling me you can't find 7 more boy band members and just, give them coiffed haircuts? I mean, really? Does anybody know who's in any of these pop groups? I mean, if you took out 3 of the 98 Degrees or 6 Degrees of Separation or any of these stupid boy-girl bands, would you really know who was missing? Would you really care? You wouldn't. As long as they were lip-singing to your favorite tunes, you'd be happy. So who cares? Boy, this is something, boy. It says they could be enlisted. Their oldest member, Jin, faces possible enlistment early next year after turning 30. So in the new year, he could be going. So, wow, they have a 30-year-old in their group? That seems kind of old. All able-bodied men are required to perform 18 to 21 months of military service. But the law provides special exemptions for athletes, classical and traditional musicians, both of which they are not, and ballet and other dancers who have won top prizes in certain competitions that enhance the national prestige of South Korea. I don't know if that's the case for these 7 guys. But I will keep you abreast of that nail-biting situation. But I feel like that's something good, right? People shouldn't have too much. Go! I mean, they're not going to do anything to you. It's not like they're going to put you in some kind of war. Nothing. You'll dance. You'll do some songs. Whatever. Some nonsense. Stop crying about it and go. Go! What are you doing? See if I got any other... Oh my gosh. You know what you guys got to do? You got to check this out. I just told my niece. I saw my niece today, Kelly. I told her to go check this out. The Great Jackolantern Blaze. This is amazing. It's at the Bethpage, the old Bethpage Village restoration. I've gone years ago. they have thousands of jack-o'-lanterns, and they group them. So say they might be from one, like, jack-o'-lanterns from from Peanuts. So you'll see Snoopy and Charlie Brown, and you'll see all the displays of these amazing jack-o'-lanterns. And then you'll have from Marvel movies, or from Disney, or from whatever it is, and it'll be a whole section of that, right? It might be, things from the Halloween, from those Johnny Depp movies. You might see some of those, Jack Sparrows, and things, Tim Burton movies, of all the Halloween movies, right? A Nightmare Before Christmas and all that. So it's a really cool thing. Check it out. I don't know how much it costs, but it's still pretty good. This was a little odd. I thought this was odd. This is a sneaker nonsense, I call it. So, who is it? Is it Nike? Yes. Nike has paired with Ben & Jerry to come out with a sneaker. It's a very expensive, it's called, let me tell you what it's called. So you know how their ice cream is called Chunky Monkey? This is called Chunky Donkey. It's a collaboration of the ice cream maker Ben & Jerry's, and it has the Nike signature swoosh in yellow, and a cowskin pattern, a homage to the packaging of the ice cream of Ben & Jerry. You know how they have a little cow on the container or whatever nonsense? So now they have got into the world of sneaker biz, and I didn't even know this. You know how we talked about Comic-Con, where all these maniacs dress up in comic gear and cosplay and go as their favorite whatever, just happened in New York. There's a sneaker con where people go and they check out these sneakers. It's in Florida, of course, and they said they had been trying to sell some fake Chunky Donkeys, but this one expert, Mupas? What's this guy's name? Justin Mupas, who, I'll tell you who this guy is. He's a sneaker connoisseur. He examines hundreds of shoes each day as a trained sneaker authenticator. That's a good job. And he says the smell, I bet, is a direct giveaway. The real Chunky Donkeys give off the scent of animal fur. That's gross. The fake smells like factory glue. I have a problem with all of this on so many levels. I don't think there's enough time for me to say how offended I am by the... Are they using cows to make these sneakers? Are they using ice cream? And are children making these sneakers in factories? This has all the makings of a disaster. It's just, you're just setting yourself up for an absolute disaster. If you are somebody out there buying Chunky Donkeys, do never watch my show again. Don't! I have no use for you. Actually, I do. I don't have a lot of people watching, so I might give you a dispensation, like I'm giving BTS for not joining the South Korean military. I can give you a special dispensation. Steve will have to do that. He's an ordained minister, I believe. So when you're on the show, go down to Governor's. Steve will give you a pass, and you can wear the Chunky Donkeys and still watch the Steve Squared show. Oh, boy. It's just terrible. Terrible! I mean, what are they doing here? Wow. They're being resold on eBay and StockX and GOAT. These are all sneaker sites where you can buy this crap. I don't know if you can see it. You can't really see it. That's a picture of the sneaker right there. See it? It's got the little swoosh. It's got the little thing there. Anyway. Oh boy, I tell you. You know what? Before I leave you, don't move. Let me now, without further ado, display the pumpkin I wanted to show you. Stay right there. I'm back. Miss me? One day I'm going to leave for a second and forget that I have the show still going on and probably just go have dinner. And I'll come back to you like 2 hours later. Oh my God! And of course you'll still be locked in because you'll be waiting. That's the drama, the tension, the climax of the show. Aristotle said that there's always 3 parts to any good story: a beginning, a middle, and an end. He calls that his poetics, right? So I've given you the beginning, right? The appetizer, the amuse-bouche. I've given you a middle, which was probably you forgot because it was very forgettable. And now you'd be waiting for the end. So if I didn't come back, you'd be riveted on the edge of your seats, like I wasn't for Cobra Kai. Here we go. What do you think of this dude? You see if you know me, and for those of you who do, you see the eye roll? I always do that. That's my favorite emoji, is the eye roll. And this pumpkin is me. Just fed up, disgusted with the world. Eye roll. And I love this pumpkin. And take the price tag off. $4. Even pumpkins have gone up in price. Everything has gone up. But I'll tell you the key to any good pumpkin. Let me give you some pumpkin advice. Okay? The stem is what sells me on the pumpkin, right? That's everything about a pumpkin. It's all about the stem. So that's kind of what I look for in a good pumpkin. So that's kind of, I always see that in a good pumpkin is the stem. You see this, I like a scary stem that has a lot of twists and curves, not just straight. Some people like the standard. You see how this has got a little curves and it's got the little frillies at the end? That's a good pumpkin. He's got that smile. Let me see if I can imitate the face. So that's, and I haven't named it yet, and I'm holding this pumpkin. I can see Kermit's flipping out right now, jealous. But I don't know if I'm going to name this pumpkin. But go out, get yourself some pumpkins, I'm telling you. So this is another unacceptable moment. I'm trying to we're picking out pumpkins, getting a couple of pumpkins. And of course, there's a woman there. I called it out right away. She was with another woman that was leaning on the pumpkins and couldn't even move, and probably, I don't know if it was her mother or whatever. And I could you know people that are just out of their minds. So this woman was like coughing and sick and sneeze, whatever, and she's touching every single pumpkin that she could get her hands on. Every pumpkin she could possibly touch, and pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. It's not going to change the way it looks by you picking it up and putting it to your cold-ridden, germ-bodied face. Just leave it there. You don't have to do that. You don't have to touch everything. So I kept pushing and saying, let's, stay on the other side. I kept telling my mom, I was like, go over there. It's just really not a pleasant experience. I tried to do a little family, try to help them out. Just not good. Anyway. As we come up on the 7:30 hour, hope you all will have a good week. I promise you there is still a Governor's Comedy Club studio, and we will be back there soon. This was a last-minute change. That we were doing some stuff. Governor's over at White Post Farm, so Sally and Tony were over there. We couldn't get in the studio. It's a whole big mix-up change, so I apologize for that. But still here to deliver quality entertainment. Once, Steve was out, he's like, I'm out, I'm good, thanks. So I always appreciate his support. Again, thank you for finding my hat to me. We're going to be getting you some dumbbell shots very soon, so look forward to that. You can check out some of our clips. I'm going to post them soon enough on Stephen R. Kaminsky Instagram. Lock in tomorrow night, Game 1, Yankees. We get them going, right? And I think we covered a lot today. We talked about ice cream flavored sneakers. Hopefully BTS will be serving on the front lines. You know where to get yourself. You still got a couple hours left of today. You can get yourself 50% off something somewhere, I'm sure. And definitely, if you get an opportunity, check out the Greatest Beer Run. I think you won't be disappointed. Plus, check out, for my old school recommendation, Better Off Dead with John Cusack and, of course, Yoji Akamoto, better known as Chosen from Cobra Kai. So, for me, for Kermit, and for, we'll call him Eye-Roll for now, I want you all to have a great week. Be safe, and we will see you next Monday night on the Steve Squared Show at, 6:30 p.m.
That's all, folks.